Guess what day it is? Guess what day it? Guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? What day is it, Mike? What day? Uh-oh.
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day! Hump Day! Huh? Anybody?
It's Hump Day.
Guess what day it is? I know you can hear me. Hump Day! Guess what day it is? What day is it, Mike?
Happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump Day!
Get happy. Get over it.
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
Hot like a tamale!
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Big booty.
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Hot like a tamale!
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Hot like a tamale!
Big, beautiful ass. Big, beautiful ass. Big, beautiful ass. Big, beautiful ass.
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Hot like a tamale!
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Big booty.
Look at that big ass.
Damn.
Big, juicy booty. Look at that big ass.
Twerking.
Hot like a tamale!
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Huh? Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day! Anybody? Uh-oh. Hump Day! Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what today is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump Day! What day is it, Mike?
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the Hump
Wait, there
Day
isn't another
show.
Hump Day?
So,
What's that?
There isn't. We don't have another Hump Day. Oh my goodness!
So,
What?
Wait,
StreamYard
with the
took
the
away.
intro can't go on longer. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. We gotta have 10 more camels.
I'm setting up my
Oh,
the next 3 days of romance covers right now.
Sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, you like to set them up beforehand? Yeah, me
I
too.
set up 3 or 4 if I don't get too confused.
Hack room chatter. Yeah. hell
I'm
yeah.
trying to get different ones. I'm going to end with like some of his best covers because there's not really that much left. But
So
I'd like to
Tank?
get to the Marvel cover so you can see everybody can see him inked by Vin Coletta because he worked for Vin Coletta. Matt Baker worked for in that shop with Joe Sinnott.
What's up, Wrangler?
He had a romance
Good to see
cover
you.
thing. No, Vince Coletta. That's what his deal was. He was a romance artist, even though everybody hates his guts.
Wrangler is a
Do they
super
hate his
talented
guts
guy
still?
with
They hate Vince. Everybody hates Vince Coletta.
He was because of Kirby,
Vince
right?
Coletta?
Mostly, but no other artist really liked being inked by him. Ditko get inked for him and take the originals or throw them out. He inked Ditko on the Hulk. When Ditko did Tales of Spawn, he got inked. And he got inked by Dick Ayers and Vin Coletta and Frank Giacoya. Not by him, because it wasn't, he didn't ink that and people hated it. And he was terrible on Gene Colan.
Was he?
Mostly he
Okay.
was terrible. He just
How did
because
he
his
get work
light
then?
line didn't look good, and he changed all the faces. And lots of times, and Kirby particularly erased some of the backgrounds, so he wouldn't have to ink them.
Yeah, I knew
Which
that
is
was
my
the
plan
big
if I ever
tell.
ink John Epple, is ink half his
What?
back, erase all his background.
that guy's awesome.
Yeah. But
Hey, Dale, you referred to a
he has
glitch
place.
with the black suit kind of thing. What are you talking about?
It was in your little intro. You were showing all those pictures of Glitch, and there was one where it was like instead of like having his gray silver part of his suit, it was just black, and it showed like the red and the white.
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, it was in your intro. I assume you must have the art.
Yeah, but
Homer goes so much he doesn't
I'm gonna
even
look for it
know
while Marcus continues. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, the story of Vince Coletta. So how did he keep getting work if all the artists hated
Well,
him?
because he was really fast. He was really fast. Kirby didn't care who inked him anyway. I mean, that's what it comes down to. He wasn't convinced about bad inkers until like the 70s, early 70s. He didn't really care that much. And, it did look pretty good on Thor because it looked, Stan wanted Kirby's Thor to look different than Kirby's Fantastic Four. Like Joe Sinnott inked that, and that looked like high tech and science fiction-y and slick. And so he didn't really want Thor to look like that. He wanted Thor to look more older, like Norse gods. There's a thought, like everybody thinks Stanley's an idiot. He did set some of this up. And Coletta did do some Fantastic Four, some important issues. But,
Not that one, no.
Not that.
And,
Okay.
Because
like,
Kirby's
they say
Thor
Kirby-
didn't look old-fashioned, like medieval or anything.
Yeah,
fantasy
basically.
at all. It looked like the same high-tech stuff he did in
Unfortunately, for
Fantastic
Coletta, near
Four.
the end of Kirby's run, Bill Everett inked it, and it looked so
This
much
one?
better. People are like, why did Bill Everett ink it?
No.
But he could get it done and get it done fast. And he became art director of DC Comics.
Did he?
And and Jim Shooter kept giving him work. There's issues that he looks fine on. I mean, he looked okay on it. He looked good on Frank Robbins on
Yeah, some of his stuff that I saw, I was like, I don't really have a problem with this. But
No, he looked
I know a lot
like
of people-
Roy Thomas put him on the Invaders with Frank Robbins to make it look more superhero-y, and that worked, and kind of lightened that up. And on he inked Dazzler for a long time, and he always was good with pretty girls. I mean, he's a romance artist. Really.
No.
Not this one, but the one before that reminded me of was it a Vigilante comic by DC?
Yeah, that was a glitch. That was another character.
Let me see if I
Wow,
can
I'm
find it
wondering
in
what.
the intro,
What are
and
you talking?
I'll
Which one
share
you're
my
talking
screen
about?
if I can here.
There's a Tomorrow's book. The rumor was that Coletta was in the mob.
Oh, really?
Well,
And
I
so
can
that
watch the intro
he used
too.
his mob ties to keep working
Partially, and
there.
he also was a photographer of young women.
Oh, okay.
Oh, ooh la la!
And so he
Now
had
you're
this
speaking
huge
my
house.
language.
But generally, guys didn't really want to be. But he inked Byrne. It didn't look awful. I'm sure Byrne wasn't happy with it.
Probably not, but
You know, he inked Eric Larson once. That was weird. When Eric
really,
Larson was
he
just
inked.
starting. I
There it
mean,
is. Okay, hang on a second.
he wasn't that good off of Kurt Swan.
He inked a lot of people, apparently.
Business
Yeah, I
long.
don't think there's any glitch in the intro. That's why I'm like, what are you
It's
talking
not in the first batch of it. Let me show you. It's in the Hump Day remix. I'm almost to it. I saw it. You said we started about 5 minutes late. There it is. Okay, now let me pull this out. And now I will share my screen and choose. There it is. Now you can see it. See that one on the right?
Oh, the one on the right. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
in shadow. I was playing a Frank Miller bit. That's
Yeah,
loosely based
I
on
like
a
that
Frank-
one.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. I was like, nah, it can't be that one because I was like, no, that's like he's just in the shadow, but I guess that's what you meant. Yeah.
He also inked George Tuska a lot too.
I'm sorry, I don't even know who George Tuska is. What
He did Iron Man. He was
He's
an
a
artist from
DC
the
artist,
40s,
wasn't
and then they brought him in as an inker, and he did a lot of Iron Man. He had a long run on Iron Man. He did Goliath. He did a lot of Power Man. Luke Cage. He did
There
a
you
lot
go.
of Luke Cage
Yeah.
work. He worked for Marvel and DC. A very muscular artist. It's not one of these guys that Aaron Lopresti would say, "Oh, I really like George Tuska." I'm sure he hated George Tuska because it wasn't like you find that they're really pickier than you think. But he did
Most of
comics
those
a lot of people read.
artists are super like crazy picky. A lot of the writers are too. You listen to the Ask Chuck Diction streams and you realize it's like he doesn't like most things.
Oh well, yeah. Chuck,
Unless it's a movie that came out from like 1950 to like 1980.
I've said in the chat, and people have agreed with me that Graham doesn't like anything after 1972.
Yeah.
In which he would have only been like, let's see, he's like 2 years older than I am, like 8 or 9 or something. I would be 7. So maybe he was 10, and he likes nothing. Like you can see him. The best is when they start like on Bros and they start talking about artists. Like even like Bird Graham is like, like he's holding himself back. Like he doesn't like anybody. If it isn't Roy Green, you know. On the other hand, Andy loves everybody. He loves George Tuska. He loves all those guys. You know.
Yeah. Andy's what, about 10 years old younger than Graham or so? 8 to 10
He's about 8 years younger, yeah.
Yeah, so
But like, yeah, I find that they were kind of trying to beat on Sal Buscema today, and the chat wouldn't have it because everybody loves Sal Buscema because they love reading his Hulk all those years. His storytelling was so easy and so powerful to read that just because he wasn't his brother, you know, I thought his faces were kind of flat. I don't think Gary likes him much either, but I love that guy. I mean, you know.
Yeah. People always compare him to John Buscema because he's
no,
fantastic,
he's not better than
but
his brother,
he's
no.
totally different style.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes that they were doing a lot of stuff where they're criticizing the Marvel EIC or Jim Shooter for the basic storytelling rules, and those rules are for beginners. They're not for guys like them who could do whatever they want on a comic. And I thought they were kind of harsh because, you know, Like they're all fighting the 6-panel grid, but the best comics remain on a 6-panel grid, guys.
Yeah.
You're not held up like Jack Kirby. You ought to kind of keep just Steve Ditko. You ought to kind of keep your mouth shut.
You
know?
hear that, graybeards? Keep your mouths shut.
Yeah, well,
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Well, I don't mean it meanly. It's just like it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
like
they all have their opinions. I find a lot in the comic book industry, like there's a lot of like sneering at like the people who came like 10 to 20 years before you did. So
yeah, there's always a
you have to
pushback
make
in
your
art
mark
against the previous generation. That's
yeah,
all,
yeah. It's like, oh, I got to show them. But the generation before that, you know, they love and adore.
Right. That's
right.
true.
Right.
Like it's like stuff like when Aaron goes, well, only the Wrightson before 1980 was any good, and I'm like,
yeah,
you know, I'm a year younger than him, and so I do know like the same comics he did, and I'm like, no, there was a lot of really good Wrightson after 1980. There is a thought that he hurt his hand or something, and he couldn't really. It wasn't quite the same some of the stuff, but he still did really great work. And I'm like,
I thought that book
and
he
that's
did
a little
the
rough.
Weird. I thought it was.
Or I didn't
good.
like Jim Starlin after 1980. I'm like, wait, what?
The Weird, is that the one from DC?
Yeah, he's a really
Weird,
obscure
yeah.
character that I saw when I was a kid, and then after I realized I was a Bernie fan, I found a copy, and then I got the rest of his work on it.
I think I might have a copy of that.
But you know,
and then he also had an appearance in the Shane Davis Captain Comic.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He did. But that's the other thing about the comic artists. And this is the busy guys at 20, 30, 40 years in comics. They don't read a lot of comics because they don't have time. So they don't always know or gain the appreciation of what's going on.
I've got a stack over here of stuff that I need to read. That
I don't get to all. Yeah, I don't get to all my stuff either. You know, between work and everything, and so that's one. You know, that's a lot. Has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. You know, as soon as they were doing full-time penciling, then.
I wonder if Marvel and DC send out comp copies like they
used
like
to.
they
I
used
don't
to.
think they do anymore.
I don't know if they do now. Yeah, they stopped.
I think some people get them. Maybe it's you have to sell like a certain amount of copies or something.
They used to. Everybody used to get them.
Yeah,
they used to send the whole box to everybody of every Marvel comic, like if you worked for them.
Yeah,
I'm not criticizing them. I mean, I am criticizing them, but I'm not like mad. I just find it entertaining.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. It's kind of they have this
like they can't be
skewed
like
perspective because
I love Graham's attitude. It's great. Like Roy Crane, the stuff he likes. That stuff is Kevin Wolf. In fact, I didn't miss the thing today. He posts all that old like John Romita artwork from the 70s comic strip, and then all those covers and Roy Crane.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's really good. So he's not wrong. I mean, you know, but I just find it kind of funny. I mean, I imagine what these guys were like when Image started. Holy moly. I mean, now they spout nice things, but I can't imagine them. I remember when I was in school and Gene Colan was getting kicked off of Batman when he was teaching our class. And he would go, what do you guys think of the Dark Knight? Why does the Batman look like the Hulk?
Like you couldn't get past that.
And did you guys really like Frank Miller? And he was kind of bitter about some of that stuff. So,
well, I don't know. People, you read the early Daredevil stuff by Frank Miller, and honestly, he's not that great of an artist when he's starting out. You know, his storytelling was really good, but I mean, his art wasn't bad, but it was kind of just mid.
Right.
Yeah, he wanted to be.
70s.
He was trying to be a Jack Kirby clone, and that's what they wanted him to do. He was doing the art, the house.
No, not.
Wasn't he trying to be Gene Colan when he was doing Daredevil? Gene Colan.
No, Mazzucchelli was trying to be Gene Colan.
I always thought he was like a Neil Adams disciple.
He
but
was
his
more
style
like
is
they're
still
like a
very
Neil
different.
Adams. It was more like kind of like Neil Adams, Gil Kane, because right before that, people
Oh,
forget
Gil
Jim
Kane.
Shooter
It was Gil Kane.
did a run
Yeah, it was
with Gil
Kane.
Kane and Klaus Janson, and with some.
Oh, okay. I
Carmen
can
Infantino.
can see Gil Kane. Yeah.
And those were really, really good. He really brought Heather Glenn in, and he really darkened up Daredevil before Roger McKenzie and Frank Miller. People forget it was like 8 months worth of books.
Oh.
I think it's really he was really trying to do Will Eisner and Gil Kane myself.
I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking Barry Windsor Smith when he started off.
Barry Windsor
he
Smith,
was
yes.
hardcore.
They don't always tell them. That's a misnomer. They always said, "Well, why don't you tell?" Did Stan Lee tell everybody to be like Jack Kirby? He kind of did, and he kind of didn't. He wanted that power and that storytelling, and so we would have Kirby lay out the books for some of these guys, and they would get it quick because most of he brought in these guys were all DC, and it was all a lot more staid, and they were good artists, but it wasn't actiony. It wasn't in your face. I mean. So Kirby would lay it out, and some of them tried to draw like Kirby, and some of them didn't. Like I don't think that Gene Colan ever really drew like Kirby,
right.
but there was that storytelling thing going on. But those guys really, really liked the Marvel method. They loved it. But the guys like Don Heck didn't like it, but like Buscema's and Gene Colan, they loved being able to paste their own comic.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Guy Chuck Dixon doesn't like it because there's a level of control that the writer gives up. And fortunately for him, guys like Graham likes to have the dialogue. So, so it works out fine. But a lot of these guys really do like to have a chance to plot it out. That's how the
some
artist
can pull it off, and some can't. Some artists, if you give them, they'll do. Oh, look, this book has 9 double-page spreads in it for no reason at all.
Well, what used to happen, particularly with Gil Kane and sometimes Gene Colan, is that they paste the whole book out. Now you're getting the plot that's like maybe Colan used to record his tape record his conversations about the plot with Stan Lee, and they would all take notes. But what would happen is they would get all into it, and then they would have to end the story. So if you read some of these stories in the 60s and 70s, you see them all big panels, all real action. Also in the last 3 pages, all like 9 panels because they got to zoom in because Gil Kane particularly did that a lot.
It'd be great if somebody could put all those audio tapes or whatever recordings
if they're around. But a guy like say John Romita Sr., he really worked on that. He really were upstairs. This is one of the reasons why he ended up working overnight, working in the office instead of doing like long runs of comics, because it took him forever to do it. He really, really like knock his head in. Whereas like John Buscema just, and his son is really good at doing from the plot style. He doesn't do plot style. None of them do plot style anymore because the comics, particularly mainstream, is writer based, is writer run. It's not artists. Artists are like, who cares? Unless it's Dan Mora, who everybody lacks at, but I don't know. Every time I see him, he looks like everybody looks gay to me. I'm like Art.
He's got a very feminine style. Like if somebody said, "Oh, this was drawn by a woman," I'm like, "Yeah, I can see that."
Right. That's how I
have
think
a very
about it.
soft and feminine look to all their characters.
And today's great news, I was going to put that in the chat, and I decided
Irene?
not to. That he looked kind of because David Williams really likes him. I'm like, he's not that good, David. He's okay. I mean, I haven't read that many comics by him, so I'd have to read it.
He's got a very mainstream appeal to his style.
So
he draws attractive characters and he draws iconic characters, and they've all got really good heroic proportions. So
you read more of those comics than I do, so you can tell.
Yeah. Dan Mora. Dan
I
Moore.
went
I stopped myself from saying it because I really shouldn't have an opinion because I don't read that many of his comics. So why should I say?
I don't think I
You
own
can have an
maybe one or
opinion.
two by Dan Mora. I went to the comic shop today, though. You want to see what I got?
Yeah.
All right. Of course, I
see
got
it.
You see it?
Oh, this is this like that other guy who's kind of like the foofy kind?
I don't know. I lost respect for Dan Moore because he did a bunch of commissions at San Diego Comic-Con, I think it was last year, of Superman and Batman kissing.
Yeah,
And,
well, that's
he's
what
the
I'm
artist
saying.
for
He's
Superman and
probably-
Batman.
Great.
Yeah, well, isn't
Yeah.
that other guy George Jimenez? He's kind of that way too.
Well, he's gay.
Well, that's
Comic
what I'm trying
shop
to say about
news.
this too.
Jimenez is gay. He went to school of visual arts. He's been around a long time.
Yeah,
And then
he's out and proud.
Well, that's how he got a job because he was gay. So
Oh, really? Well, I know he did that big interview. Like, there's like a little mini documentary on him. He's like, as a gay man, I represent blah blah blah, and being
no,
in
well, the
punk
new talent showcase the new talent guy at DC at the time. He went to school of visual arts a little old. I had a friend of mine who knew a little about it. They kind of had a relationship.
Oh.
And so then he got work at Marvel, and he's basically a George Perez clone.
right.
Maybe he's not anymore.
Oh, you picked that up. How is that?
Well, this is just the Marvel preview. It's not out yet. This is Capullo.
Oh, it's not yet.
Yeah.
Capullo. I like
and then-
Capullo. He's good.
That's gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a
Yeah.
banger. The story could be stupid, but it's
Too bad I hate Deadpool. So
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up, but I'm not a big Deadpool
It's
fan.
not very extreme of you.
Yeah.
He's just a terrible character.
oh man.
A little goes a
Did you
long
like
way.
Wolverine?
Deadpool.
He
Did you
should
like
show up like
Wolverine
once
versus
a year.
X-Men?
And the thing about Deadpool, it isn't just a character. I really don't
Wolverine.
care. I don't really hate any character. I don't care all that
X-Men
much.
Apocalypse.
But it's like the whole thing
Yeah,
is like
this
Fabian
is
Nicieza
getting
doesn't
hype.
get Fabian doesn't get his due on
Looks
Deadpool.
good.
Joe Casey doesn't get his due.
I think it looks good. Some people don't like it because it's kind of got a feminine art style, but it's drawn by a woman. So I guess
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
But it looks a little anime, but with a little American twist in it. It's very video
Yeah.
gamey kind of art. But I like it. It looks cool. And now that
One
you told me it's a
thing-
woman, I'm okay with it, But if
Yeah,
it's a
I mean,
man,
Should women
it's
really
a
be doing
man's
comics,
man.
though?
What excites me though, I don't know. This could be that the art looks good. Is they're bringing back Punisher, and they're really pushing it like it's the full-blown real Punisher.
Yeah,
It looks
he's
good.
proven to be
I
so
hope it's
popular
good. Is
on
that
TV.
McNevin?
It's who is the
Garney?
artist?
It
Benjamin
feels
Percy's writing. Julius Ota is the artist. Covered by Marco Cicchetto.
Chichetto. There's so
but
many
there's-
new names in comics right now. It's
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay
They're all
anybody else, Omer.
Brazil and
Here's another
Italy and shit like that. Yeah.
look at it. It
looks
looks
good.
cool. I might get it.
Yeah.
At least the first issue. See how it is.
I dropped the Discord in the chat if anybody wants to join the Discord, the Omerglitch Discord.
We gotta be
Please do
nice
so.
to you there too. Jeez.
I think
Dude,
you can really,
there's more
you
shit
can
to
really
keep
tell him what
track
you think
of.
of him in that one, John.
Yeah, you could send me essays of how much you hate me. Oh shit!
I think
It's just like, oh my
Deadpool is
god,
great.
more shit to keep track of. Fudge.
Everybody that Deadpool, like the other creators on Deadpool, don't get their credit because Rob takes all the credit for it.
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and- well,
Who
Fabian
did he
Nicieza,
make
right?
it with? Was it Fabian Nicieza?
Vivian
Or-
Nicieza.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
always
then the
say
whole fourth-
Narcissus.
Breaking the fourth wall, wasn't that Joe Casey and Ed McGuinness?
Yes, yeah, that's where it
But
started.
he never gives anybody else any credit. He
Yeah.
fights with credit with Louise Simonson on Cable. I mean, maybe he's right, but he really is kind of like rough about it.
Really, Cable? He doesn't get full credit
Oh,
for Cable
this
because I
looks
thought
cool.
Cable was. Oh, that does look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that looks nice.
Capullo knows
Yeah.
what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Capullo, yeah.
What
So-
interested me is I didn't realize they were doing more crossovers too. They're also doing Daredevil and Green Arrow.
Really?
And
Daredevil and Green Arrow. That sounds
yeah,
cool.
Well, they have to
Captain
find a way to
America
sell
and Wonder
some of these-
Woman, which is a good
Daredevil and
matchup.
Green Arrow would be a great fight.
They have
Yeah.
to find a way to sell some of these comic books.
Who's that? Wonder Woman and who?
Captain America and Wonder Woman,
Oh, great.
and then
Well, they
Jeff
should
the
just have
Land
sex.
Shark and Crypto the dog. So
Nice. That'd be awesome if Captain America and Wonder Woman banged. That would be cool.
It looks like that Superman. It looks like the Superman movie's pretty good.
Is it
Yeah,
getting
people are
good
saying
reviews?
it's pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
gotten
they're
good,
saying
pretty
it's
good
pretty
reviews.
They say it's
I mean,
fun. It feels like a
Yellow
comic
Flash
book,
liked
is what
it.
I hear.
After trashing it for months, he liked it.
Yeah.
Who trashed
Richie
it?
Heller says, I finished taking
Yellow
my
Flash liked
Jackie
it.
Dark sketch today.
Oh.
I posted a photo in Discord. Cool. Check it out.
I still don't like the actor that much. He doesn't leave me cold, but I think I'll see. I think I'll try to see it sometime.
Batman Dark
Ooh,
Patterns.
that looks interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a. It's really kind of written like Law and Order or something. It's kind of interesting. And then the new Solomon Kane, Patrick Zurcher, and then Savage Sword of Conan with the vintage Neil
Ooh,
Adams
yeah,
cover.
Neil
So,
Oh
Adams
yeah, I
cover.
saw that cover. That's nice.
That looks great.
yeah, it is really nice. So that was my haul. I don't know. Marvel actually looks like it might put out a few books this year that are decent, which it hasn't done in years, in my opinion. So
A guy named, what was it, Claudio Castellini,
Oh yeah, the
Did,
Italian. Yeah, he's
did
good.
a short Conan run in the late 90s. His has been my favorite. Because he seemed to get the savagery, the detail, everything you would need in a Conan comic, he did.
oh, that's cool. Claudio Castellini.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to do.
He did some work on the those amalgam comics.
Okay.
So he has kind of a realistic build to his characters, but just the way he drew
He's like-
Conan, I thought was awesome.
He's kind of like John Buscema on steroids.
Yeah. Like a 90s version of Buscema.
Yeah, yeah. It has kind of this 90s, this extreme Marcus look to it.
There's one of the,
I like-
one
I
of the
like
covers
his
where
work.
he's just standing there
I always
He's
liked his
still
work. I have to
intimidating.
say,
is all get out on that cover.
he did a Silver Surfer graphic novel too. I
Yeah.
think.
He's done a bunch more. Just those tend to be the more.
Well, I
books
think he
of
works in
more-
Italy. I don't think he works that much in America anymore. He's probably
Does
too
Italian
expensive.
comics, yeah. So who are you drawing tonight, Omer?
This is my character Singe. He's one of Glitch's arch nemesis. Nemesis.
So,
Thank you,
so
Hal
his
dear.
skin is singed. I take it.
Yeah. So he's got so the backstory is he's this bodybuilder guy who likes to be fit and trim, right? And he's kind of like a Bruce Lee fit and trim kind of guy. He's not like real bulky, right? And he's not like Arnold or anything like that. He's just like
You mean he's not
slim,
like
thick
John
guy.
Apple?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. Well, he is like John Apple in that he likes to work out his legs, and leg day is his shit, right? So he ends up going to meet his supplier for his juicing, right? His what do they call it? Steroids or whatever?
Orange juice.
And it's at this
Pineapple juice. That's what it is.
yeah. It's at this chemical factory, right, where they're gonna do the drug exchange or whatever the hell, right? And Glitch ends up finding it, and this guy gets accidentally bumped into one of the vats of acid, and he falls in, and he is so it's a little bit of a Joker ripoff, right? But
Yeah, I was going to
his
say it
body
sounds like
ends up
Axis Chemicals.
yeah, so his body ends up reacting with the acid and the juicing stuff. So it absorbs the acid, and he ends up being alive, but he gets deformed, and his skin is acidic, so he can touch things and make them melt or whatever. He's got like acid powers, and his eyes get bigger, so he starts getting deformed, and his hair gets all singed off, so it stays real short all the time. And because of leg day, he gets more. His legs get super powered, and they get real fat and big. So he's like the bottom half is like the Hulk, and the top half is just like spit and acidy. But because he's got massive legs, he can jump like the Hulk really far. And he's not like super strong; he's just kind of strong. And then he had, because of all the change in his metabolism or whatever, he has a little bit of a psychic push power to push pain into your mind. So yeah,
Oh,
the
sweet. So
roids,
he's an
exactly.
ex-wife?
Thank you, Helder. Yeah. Somebody said that. I
You're not
think
the
Rex
first one
said
who
that
said
too.
that. That's funny.
Yeah. Somebody else said that too. Maybe it was you.
Maybe
I
it
can't
wasn't
remember.
me. Maybe it was Rex or somebody.
Yeah, maybe it was.
No,
Rex.
I think it was Doc Blaylock.
Oh.
Yes, you're right. It's Doc Blaylock.
It was
Yes,
Doc.
yes.
Yep.
So it sounds like an ex-wife.
Doc said, "Yeah, that sounds like my ex-wife."
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
Fucking
impersonation.
I don't even talk to him on. I've only heard him on shoot a couple of times. But that's what I think he sounds like.
You gotta take a drag on your cigarette halfway through.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, this is
I'm
what I
trying to
got
find
this
some-
week. Look at this. So I'm using these pens. I really like these brush pens, the smaller tip, and so they're like $4 each. But I got 10 for $17.99, $1.79. I got a whole box of them.
Oh wow!
Wait, is it this one? Is it the same one as this one?
Yeah, well, yeah. I like the one that says the WFSS4. There's a couple of different ones, but they all look the same.
Is it like these Tombos? Something like
It's
that?
kind of like the Tombos, yeah. It's a Fude.
Yeah, mine's a WSBH black.
It's the
And then-
zebra Fude sign,
Yeah,
brush
I've
pen.
got that too. Somewhere.
and I eat a lot of the stuff on the studio with this, like because I don't always want to bring my brush out for that.
What's
Not
up,
that it's not worth
War?
it. I did last week, but
That's a lot for one character. Yeah. What's up, War?
like if it works out. I like them. They're pretty neat.
I'm trying to find. Oh, okay, here they are. Okay, found them. Well, since Wargore's in the chat, a while back I got a commission from Wargore, so he did this really awesome thing.
Nice.
Let me see if I can find it. He's really good. I wanted to get him while he was cheap, before everybody else gets him.
Is he high in demand?
I don't know. No, not yet. Hopefully it won't be too much in high demand, because I might have to get him for some more.
That reminds
I'm
me,
not
you know,
really
the,
a big
the
commission
gun
person.
gold picture I did.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get. I've decided I'm gonna get Tartan Ninja to color it for me.
Check it out.
That's pretty
Oh, cool.
I like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, this is War.
That's
This
a
is
good.
Wargore. He gave him a little bit of a.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he gave him a little bit of a turtleneck thing, but it's cool. It looks cool. I like it like gives it movement. Acid jump psychic pain. Yeah. I got a refillable fountain brush pen a while ago, but I haven't tried it yet. Try it.
I have one of those.
Let's see. Does anyone use real brushes for inking? No.
I do.
No.
No,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
only because it's
I
so
ink
much
this
harder
mostly
to try
with
to
a real
carry it
brush.
around.
Wargore says he's totally available. Go check him out. Yeah. Be warned if you find him on X. Be warned. He does like the adult stuff, so be warned. That's all I gotta say. That's you can hit him up on YouTube and under Wargore there. Find him on YouTube. Just stay safe.
Most
Because
of
you
the
want to
thing
stay
I'm
pure
using on
innocent
now is
boy.
a brush.
Pure innocent boy.
That's right.
Pure innocent boy.
Mhm.
Don't send it to Don.
Is
yeah,
Don
I
a pure
like
innocent
that.
boy? I'm still waiting on my cover from Don. He said he was gonna work on it.
Well,
You
he
giving
had
him
some.
shit about it.
Not yet.
Here's this. Look at that. Finish that off.
Hey, yeah, the colors on that. I
Chivalry.
really like how they turned out.
Yeah, they look all right. I kind of was. I was like, oh man, these colors are rough.
No,
So,
I like it.
I'm good. Cool. Glad you like it, man. Thank
John
you,
had a
sir.
little problem with his roof this week.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
seems
dude.
to
What
have
the
a lot of
fuck,
problems with
man?
this roof, unfortunately. But he's got that old style roof. We used to have a roof like that when I was a kid, and I remember our hallway had a leak, and we had the exact same thing where the it's not sheetrock, it's like this
Yeah, I've seen that.
plasterboard
Yep.
Particle
and
board. Yeah.
particle board stuff, and it
Mhm.
had like this, like I don't know what it was. It was like shiny, like clumps of insulation, and it would just get heavy if the roof leaked, and it would
Yeah, 'cause it was
accumulate up in
wet.
there, and then all of a sudden you got all these sagging wet spots in your roof, and then it just came down in the hallway, and we
Yeah,
ended up
my
having to replace
my
our roof.
mother-in-law lived in a similar kind of house, and she had same kind of thing happened. Only
Yeah.
hers got to be most of the roof. Those houses are only good for like maybe 15 years. Anything after that, it's easier just to go ahead and move if you can, just because it's just not worth trying to fix them anymore.
Yeah.
So this is Singe. You see how his legs are massive? And the only thing that didn't burn off
How
was
did his legs become that way?
because of the acid, and he loves leg day. So his legs were recovering from the previous leg day, and they got ultra sized.
Because that's what Omar wanted to draw.
It's called magic, Mark Dale. I don't know scientifically
Magic
how
of
it happened.
storytelling.
It just happened because he's a weirdo. Like, I don't even know how to explain the telepathic pain push. Like, why does he have any telepathic powers whatsoever? But I thought it'd be a cool thing to add, right? Like, oh, how do I make him worse?
Wasn't Chris Evans in a,
You know,
wasn't Chris Evans
like,
in a movie called Push or something like that?
yeah.
He had like psychic
With
powers.
Joe-
I never
yeah,
watched it, but I
it's-
remember the movie cover. He's like shoving towards the camera. Are his shorts
his
made out
black-
of unstable molecules?
Right. Yes, I was gonna say this is my nod to the Hulk purple shorts that never ripped all the way off to show his dong. The same thing here. His for some reason this particular type of material was impervious to most of the acid because it was made in China, and it had
If that
it
thing
was
grows
particularly made
proportionally with the rest of them,
in
you can use it
Wuhan.
as a weapon.
Right.
He's gonna look tiny with his knees the size of his head, so I can't imagine how the rest of him compares.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wargore. Yeah, I get it. Say it again, Dale. It was what?
Oh, his knees the size of his head, so his package there is going to look tiny, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it shrunk down because of the roids. You know.
He and the Hulk sword fight.
Yeah.
The package doesn't shrink.
Is that
down.
why he has the psychic pain? Because
The
he's
balls
upset
that shrink down.
about his manhood?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now it's a girthy little thumb.
Wait, the package doesn't shrink down. The balls shrink down.
It all shrinks down, doesn't it,
You
Marcus?
seem to know a lot about this, Marcus.
Yeah, why would you know so much about this, Marcus?
I know a lot about everything.
I know a little bit about a lot of things.
That's right.
But do you
Well,
know
he
a
does
lot
not look
about
happy.
a little thing?
Was that too much Taco Bell?
I don't really eat Taco Bell. That's interesting.
Let's see.
No, the image on the screen.
Oh, that, yeah.
That looks like he's pushing
It
a little
burned
too
off,
hard.
Howler says. He
I was
looks
looking
like
down because
emo,
I'm eating
yeah.
this.
So this is him jumping in the air. I drew this a long time ago. It's fun though.
I wouldn't want to get kicked by him. That
No.
would hurt.
Yeah.
Or play soccer with him. That would suck.
Right?
This
Where's
is
your-
him,
where-
glitch.
Where's Acapad?
Yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't said anything. And Rex said he was initially going to come on tonight, but maybe he had to work after all.
Doesn't he? I think he didn't
So-
say he had to work today. I don't know if I listened to him today.
Oh, sure,
Tank
making his
Ferret was in
job
the
more
chat,
important.
but he never came on either.
Who's that? Oh,
Tank Ferret.
Tank?
Yeah.
So this cover here for Glitch, which is coming up. See that little shadow figure to the back? That's Singe force projecting pain into Glitch's mind.
Is that Singe or is that Glitch like in the faces?
That's Glitch in the faces. Yeah, that's
Okay, that's what Glitch looks like underneath the mask.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Being
Glitch.
tortured, being burned alive, because that's how he becomes Glitch, right? He gets hit by the orb in the center of his chest, and when that asteroid orb
Right.
hits him in the chest, it's on fire. So, like, part of that story is called baptism by fire, right? Instead of baptism by water.
Good story title.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of one of my biggest fears, being burned alive. I think that's freaking horrible. And then the guy doing it is Singe, right? Who's all burned alive. So, yeah. Anyways,
I don't know. I somebody told me once that being burned alive wouldn't be that bad because after like 30 seconds or so, all your nerve endings are burned off and you don't feel anything anymore.
That's hard to believe, but possible.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
willing
I don't
try
even want to
find
think
out.
about it, Dale.
Right? Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, it's like that video I sent to John. Burn the witch, burn the witch. And then
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, I've got the magic to increase your penis size. Save the witch, save the witch.
I think drowning is like really bad.
people say that that's very peaceful too. People have
Is it
drowned.
really?
and
I
came
can't
back to
imagine that.
life.
I gotta get my top of my pen. I can't imagine that being very good. I mean, it's all bad, but like, it's
Yeah.
hard. Like people, like they show like on TV. Oh, he's gonna go try to drown himself, but nobody can drown themselves. It's almost impossible.
I would think that'd be more terrifying because you couldn't do much to stop it.
Right,
But the
right.
fire would be more agonizing.
Yeah, I prefer none of them.
Yeah. None of the above, please.
Now, the drowning one, like, if you planned on doing it, all you have to do is put some bricks and concrete blocks to your foot, and then
Well, because
jump
it's
in.
impossible. Because you would naturally. It's hard. You can't. It's hard to drown yourself because you naturally want you automatically your will to live kicks in. It's not something that you control.
So if
Right,
you're
but that's
really
what the
hard
brick is
burning
for.
to
So
death,
then
then you
gonna
try and
sink
drown
myself.
yourself, and it cancels each other out.
No, it's really hard to do that.
I like the Human Torch, but again, like the idea of being like lighting yourself on fire and then like having that, it's
Well, if it's your
quite,
power, I mean,
yeah. I think it'd be kind of scary. I'd be freaked out if like kind of the way he was in that first movie. He's like, I'm on fire, I'm on fire.
Wasn't the original Human Torch from like the Golden Age? Wasn't that like some of his thing was he didn't want to be on fire at first or something?
he was an android.
Is that what it was?
Was he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the original one before the Fantastic Four, there was an android around the same time Namor was.
Yeah.
It was
on
way
the
ahead of its
Invaders
time.
or something like that.
He ended up being the Vision.
Yeah.
They were drawing the Vision today, and the Vision is the
Really?
original Human Torch.
Really?
Really?
Yep.
Not in
Ultron-
continuity though.
Ultron
Right?
remade him.
Oh,
into the
really?
original- and it's funny because all these guys they act like I remember all that stuff because I read it over and over, and they're like guessing where did Jocasta come from? Well, Jocasta was supposed to be Ultron's bride with the personality of the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. But these guys don't remember anything they read. So when they were kids, obviously. Oh, we're not going to do Jocasta. Like, I'm never drawing Atari Force, even though it was good enough for Jose Garcia Lopez. Wait, what?
That guy, didn't he make himself famous drawing Atari Force?
Partially, yeah.
I think everybody remembers him now for his DC characters.
Oh, now they
right?
do, yeah.
Yeah.
But Atari Force was good. I got some of those issues. It wasn't a bad comic. I feel like that. Like Aaron goes, "Well, it was about
Doesn't
a
Aaron
video
hate
game.
it?
Why should a comic be about a video game?" I'm like, "I'm old as you are. You got to be kidding. You're not really saying that, are you?"
I don't know. Aaron has so many weird peculiarities about
It's just
his
some weird.
taste.
Yeah, it's just weird, right?
Yeah,
That was
it's very
Aaron's first work at
strange.
DC too. Was Atari Force the end of the run?
See,
Yeah, it
I
just
never, I never picked up any Atari Force. I think maybe I have one issue that I randomly got, and it probably wasn't one of the
Well,
good
it was
ones.
a- it was an older
I've seen
book.
them like
I
in
mean,
back issue bins and stuff, but I don't think I have very many.
It was an older book. I didn't have any either, and then somebody was selling them, and I said, "Oh, this looks good. I'm going to buy it just for Garcia Lopez's
Well,
artwork."
didn't it stop in
Sure.
like the early '80s, maybe the mid '80s?
Yeah. It wasn't a long run of comic. It's just that Garcia Lopez he did so few runs on comics that I don't think it's really collectible. Yeah, the peculiar ideas of you can't make a comic out of this, you can't make a comic out of that.
You made a comic out of anything.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I've been seeing lately on Twitter is, I think it's Twitter. It's either Twitter or Instagram. I can't remember exactly. But everybody's posting. Oh no, it was Facebook. There's a Michael Golden group, and they're posting tons of Michael Golden art. And I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? I don't remember any of this stuff. And like stuff from the 2000s, like a bunch of stuff he did at Wildstorm, and
Yeah, he did a lot of
Just like-
covers, by the way.
yeah, a lot of them were covers. Yeah.
He did a lot of. Well, what about David Williams? I had no clue since I wasn't really buying comics. I had no clue that David Williams did hundreds of covers.
Yeah, I had no idea either.
Me neither.
I knew he
And
did
he
some
just-
covers, but I
I
didn't
opened up my Twitter feed one day and it was like 50 posts from him of covers, and then he did another string of them.
He did over 100 covers. I saved
Yeah,
them in
and
my
he
favorites.
primarily was working with the product, right? Product DC product
Yes,
line.
he worked. Yeah, he worked that in DC Animation.
But he did a crap load of covers, yeah. And I'm like I kind of recognize some of it, but I don't. I'm like, where were these?
I remember those ones that he did with the Cheetah. Those books. I remember when those books came out.
I think I missed a lot of it
Thundercats?
because I kind of dipped out of comics from like 2003 up through like 2016 or 17. I mean, as far as like, I'd buy trade paperbacks, but I wasn't picking up floppies, and I didn't have
Right.
Thank you, Hal. You appreciate it.
LCS that I was holding books for me.
Yeah, the DC style guidebooks. Yeah, that's where he's. Yep.
It's funny,
I had the old DC
2003 or so. That's when I really got into DC.
See you later,
books.
Wrangler. Thank you for being by.
Is they had done like a big reboot of a lot of their properties, and so around 2003 or so, I think that's when they did the Outsiders book.
Crisis on
uh,
Infinite Earth.
The Teen Titans
right.
got a reboot. So I always thought 2003 was a good time for me to get into DC. Before that, it was like, ew, like what's this?
Well, I got mostly. When I was a kid, I had got any comics, so I remember like some of these comics in the mid '70s, particularly Superman and Batman Detective Comics. Those covers that pop up in people, I remember those. And then I was just a Marvel kid until Crisis. I went to the comic shop and they said, "You got to get Batman." So I got Pat Broderick's Batman Detective. And then I got Crisis, and I bought a bunch of DC books.
I've got some
Swamp
of Pat
Thing,
Broderick's
Batman,
old
Superman.
Firestorm.
I never got Firestorm.
Yeah.
I like Firestorm, but I never got it.
Well, I think the reason why I got him initially was because I think he had the character of the Parasite. That was like one of his first appearances. Was in a Firestorm book, and then I think that's what initially got me started on the character. I was like, hey, this guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Firestorm was popular for like a bit in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like
He was
Yeah.
he had a book in the 70s. He was created by Jerry Conway and Al Milgrom, but it was part of
I
the
didn't see him
implosion.
until he was on Super Friends.
Yeah, I think
That's why he was
think
on
that's probably
Super
when I found out about him, or shortly after.
Yeah.
He
I love Firestar. She was hot.
Yes. Great example of gingers.
Firestorm was cool too, though.
Firestar was on a cartoon as well. Was
That's-
it
he was created
Iceman
for
and
the
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Shooter created her.
Really?
Yeah, he created a lot of that stuff. I talked to him about it. Like he was involved in all those cartoons and toy tie-ins, ROM and stuff,
Oh,
Micronauts.
that's cool.
The Micronauts, My Nuts.
Oh, I've got some of Kelly Jones' earliest work. It was on the Micronauts.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Did
wanna
it look
say
like
it's
Kelly Jones back then?
Yeah, I could see similarities.
Okay.
It wasn't as refined as what made him popular with Deadman, but still, I could see the shading and some of the exaggerated proportions.
Okay. I didn't know that's where he got his start.
Oh yeah,
I believe
goes
that was
through
his
all
first
of that,
book.
too. He tells.
I didn't-
some
Yeah, it's
story
weird
about
seeing
that.
Kelly Jones like doing kind of normal stuff and not
Yeah.
exaggerated. Yeah.
I don't think he ever
Occasionally
did
he'll-
that much
he'll-
normal
he-
stuff.
He'll have like a really normal looking panel, and then like the next panel will be like the person will look entirely different, but that's like his thing. I didn't really
Right.
know about him until he's doing those Batman covers, and I really didn't like it back then. but
Nightfall.
I like it now. Yeah, Nightfall.
He did
covers.
the John Beatty the inked him on a lot of that run. You see a John Beatty's trolling the
Yeah, on the Graybeard. He comes. They should get him on the stream, but I think he just likes to sit in the chat and troll.
No, I met him at Heroes Con. I go, oh, John
Oh,
Beatty's
really?
Heroes Con. So I walked right up to him and he goes, I'm a mod for Aaron, and you're hilarious. And so I encouraged him to troll Aaron more.
Oh,
My
that's
job is done. I
funny.
go, I knew his work, and like 20 years ago when the internet just was starting, I asked him what brush he used, and he was really nice. Some guy just emailing him, and he told me and stuff, and I told him that story. And he's a really nice guy. He was just signing books, and he just loves
cool.
Aaron. He says Aaron's such a straight shooter, and he doesn't know like a lot of like the pop culture, like calling him Diddy Lopez. There's a chance that like Aaron really doesn't even know who P. Diddy is, like because Aaron's and he
not
just
missing
loves
much.
to make fun of Aaron, but he has a lot of respect for him. He really does.
Like,
He
is
should
Aaron
come
that
on.
much
He's
of
a
a
great
square? He doesn't know who P. Diddy is?
I think he's just.
I think that's an exaggeration, but Aaron, there's stuff he misses.
He's
Yeah.
so like narrowly focused on what he likes that he just pays
He
no
don't pay
attention.
attention to anything
Do you ever
Yeah.
watch their Star Trek show?
I used to watch it, but it's kind of boring.
Well, that's because all they're doing is talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, I was talking about.
And then I feel like I have to look in on it because no other mods go in there.
Damn,
And every once in a while, like I save them from like a chat. I banned Larry Niobe like 8 times. And
Oh,
then
really?
they had a
That
big
guy.
sweat spot thing once, so I do have to kind of look in on it. And it's just kind of
Yeah,
funny.
I like
how they
Ron
talk
Garney.
about,
He's
like,
he's cool.
We love Star Trek except for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Why didn't you just like Star Trek? What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
I was one of those weirdos that was raised on both, so I
I like
I
both.
kind of dig both of them.
Star Trek was always on. My parents watched it, the original run, when it was on NBC. They were always into science fiction and stuff. So
I actually got my wife kind of digging some of the original movies too. I think
Really?
oh yeah,
not
my
a lot-
wife
not-
liked that.
well, I mean, she doesn't like
She
as
likes
much as
Star
I
Trek.
did, but I watched them with my dad as a kid, and then I saw that they were on, I want to say Paramount or something like that, and I had a
Yeah,
little
Paramount
Star Trek
Plus.
fest, and she didn't totally mind it because, according to her, my taste in movies is usually terrible.
Well, yeah. Well, in New York, the way it worked out was not only was Star Trek like on in the afternoon on Sundays, Saturdays, and Sundays just randomly, but WPAX would have the Yankee game and then the Honeymooners. And this was every night of the summer. And then Star Trek would be on midnight. We'd all be watching Star Trek after the game. That's how it was. And it was for Graham. It was for me. Anybody who grew up in like the 70s in New York, that's how it was. And like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night was The Odd Couple. We all watched The Odd Couple. Like, you know, I knew a kid that knew every word of The Odd Couple. Like he knew everything, even after he took LSD. It's just like these
More
things that were
so
always on.
once he had taken LSD.
They were always on. Barry Gotland, I'll never forget that kid. You know, my friend wanted to become a sports writer because of Oscar Madison. That's how pervasive like the Odd Couple are. Like in New York, there's like that was the Honeymooners and then the Odd Couple and Seinfeld are three shows that are about New York City that show New York City and how people are. Where Friends is like in New York City too, but they're like Friends, you know, they're like yuppies and
It's not very New
like
York.
Jack Klugman and Tony Randall and just going out in New York all the time. The scenes at the beginning and the Honeymooners never went outside, but they were New Yorkers. You just could kind of tell. And then finally Seinfeld, the narcissistic people.
Yeah.
The Seinfeld is life. Like when you think of all the stuff that happens, and you like think about like all the drama in CG or non-CG, whatever the heck you want. Think about it in the terms of Seinfeld, then it makes complete sense, right? Because that's how people are. They're like Seinfeld. They think of themselves mostly. You know, what can they get? What's in it for me? Mostly.
Yeah.
Even with their friends.
Gorgor, I like the brought back Doctor Who stuff that's modern, not the woke stuff like the last couple years.
Matt Smith was my Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's kind of like that era, but I can't stand old Doctor Who. All the black and white crap, I can't stand any of that crap, or even like the Technicolor Doctor Who crap. None of that is only like from the 2000 to like 2000.
I never was into
15,
Doctor Who. My
18,
brother
somewhere around there.
Well,
I was never
in my
into it either. I
30s
don't have
before
anything
I
against
finally
it, but
came across
My dad
Doctor
used to
Who.
like it.
I think I started with Matt Smith, and then that got me. Oh, hey, let me see what some of the older ones look like. So then I got watching back to Chris Eccleston, and then anything before that, that's where I'm like,
He was good.
it's not my thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whatever happened to Chris Eccleston? Like he was doing
I
stuff for a little
heard
bit
that
and then
he was
just
just
kind of
extremely
disappeared.
difficult to work with, so he didn't have a long career as Doctor Who.
Oh.
Now it's just woke. Who wants to watch any of that?
I see him in movies and stuff here and there, but that's about it. He was in 28
Right.
Days Later.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah.
I think the
28
first time I
weeks
saw
later.
him though was in the Gone in 60 Seconds remake.
was he in that?
Yeah, he played. Well, it was the one with Nicolas Cage in it.
Right.
I didn't know at the time, but I found out later on that it was a remake from the 70s movie. But Eccleston played the main villain in there.
I have a question for you, John, as our resident
Badass.
well, that and zombie artist. Do you like any of these zombie movies that come out? Like 28 Days Later, 28 Years Later, and all that?
Well, I 28 Years Later is probably one of the few movies that I want to go to the theater and see this year. I've seen so many at this point, though, they kind of blend together.
You haven't watched it yet? It's pretty good. It's
No,
not
not yet.
great. Like it's pretty good.
Well, it's a zombie flick. I mean, I'm not expecting Shakespeare or anything.
Right. But
a lot of zombie dog in
it's just a different take on
Yeah, that's what I heard.
28
too.
weeks, 28 days. Like 28 days and 28 weeks is they're just so damn good. Like, and this one's like so far in the future, like to a certain extent, that like it's inconsequential what the previous movies were, you know? Like they don't matter at all. Like they could reboot the whole franchise from this point on, and
I hope not. I'm
previous movies
tired of
don't
all
matter.
these pointless reboots that the only thing they contribute is either gender or race bending the lead roles, and they call that an accurate reboot. With the
Well,
characters
this
no
one's a
longer
reboot.
identifiable.
It is kind of a reboot because I mean, it
I
really
thought
has
this
nothing
one
to
was
do.
a sequel.
Yeah, it's only a sequel because it's in the same universe, but it's really like it doesn't even matter what the previous two movies were. Like the connection is so thin, in my opinion. It's so thin, like it doesn't matter. Like we do see what's his face? He's one of the zombies, so he survived, you know, as a zombie or something.
Oh,
for the
Cillian
20
Murphy.
Yeah, we see he does have a cameo zombie appearance, but like
He's
that
a
doesn't even
zombie
matter.
now, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of sucks, you know. Like
Well, you
you
have
get
to
to know
expect
his
that's going
story
to happen at some point.
sooner or later, right? Yeah, like nobody gets out of it. Yeah,
I think my only real complaint with those movies was the fact that their zombies all of a sudden could move faster than normal humans.
yeah, and also the Cillian Murphy, like you'll miss it if you don't pay attention. Like it's so. I'm not ruining anything for you as like a spoiler. It was in the previews too, so it's not like
I thought he had at least a little something more than that.
No, that's it. That's
I've seen
whatever
the
you saw in the
trailers, and
previews.
he barely
In the trailers, yeah.
barely got acknowledged. I was like, was that
Right.
gonna
That's
be
all
him?
it is. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
And I'll still see it at some point, but
yeah.
Huh.
I mean, with everything being so damn expensive now, it's like I got to be pickier about the money I spend.
Oh yeah, if you go to the movies with your wife and kid, yeah, that's like $100. Yeah, easily.
I'm like, all I'm doing is getting watered down soda, half full candy, and some popcorn. I shouldn't be spending $50 just to get in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy a lot of snacks at the theaters anymore.
Neither do I, just because of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't because I'll have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the movie. I'll have to go to the bathroom anyway in the middle of the movie. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, they Andy and Dennis, because he gets his Mr. Pibb because it's the only place to get it here in Charlotte. And I'm like, how do you sit in a movie and drink a giant orange soda? Are you insane?
Have you seen how big he is?
Spend half the time in the bathroom.
Have you seen how big Dennis is? He's huge.
He's big. Yes, I do. I hang out with Dennis in real life. He's a big guy,
and he always wears a muscle shirt.
He never wears sleeves. He calls them, and that's real too. That's not just none of it. None of the things that they do are gags. That's all true. It's not a gag. Like his wife takes off all sleeves of everything for him to go to some of these restaurants, that fancy restaurants. They have to make sure they tell him you have to wear sleeves. You have to bring a coat. He will not wear sleeves, and he'll wear shorts throughout the whole winter, just gym shorts. He doesn't get cold.
How come Andy doesn't put him on his diet program and work his ass out?
I don't know. They've been friends. They're really great friends. I mean, they've been friends now
and I know Andy works out.
I don't even know how many years. I don't know his deal that way. You know, I don't ask him. Why are you so fat, Dennis? I mean, that's not something to say.
No. Well, I'm
fat. You know, I lost
online for a little while in the videos about getting him on a workout plan or some shit.
He just try to do something. He tried to do. He's allergic to chicken, like chicken.
What?
He's allergic to chicken.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of somebody being allergic to chicken.
Like,
But he
you
can
would,
eat, like,
get a
beef
chicken
That
and
makes
wing,
less
pork
sense
and-
than
he's
everyone
allergic to
being
chicken.
allergic to gluten now.
Well, it's funny you say that. There is a thing about being allergic to beef or getting allergies to beef, like as a new thing. I saw and I don't know how real it is or isn't, but there's this little like video I watched on Facebook that took me down a rabbit hole of like, what's her name? She had that daytime talk show, the black chick.
Oprah?
Not
No,
Oprah,
Wendy
but she was
Williams?
like Oprah. Wendy Williams, yes.
Yeah, she's not
So
quite like
some,
Oprah. Wendy Williams
yeah,
is a
she's
piece
not
of work.
quite like Oprah, but yeah. But she developed during COVID or right before COVID some kind of allergy to beef. And supposedly that's kind of when she went down and started having Alzheimer's and all this kind of stuff. And there's a correlation or something that they're saying that not eating beef will cause you to have Alzheimer's faster. And the whole allergy to beef is part of the whole thing with Microsoft and Bill Gates about eating more insects and veg,
I'm not
become
eating
vegetarian.
insects.
Not planning to. Me neither. I'm with you.
No.
Right. Yeah. Same here. But yeah, it was this weird rabbit hole having to do with all that and all the, what do they call it, conspiracy theories related to all that. I don't know. Sorry.
Just because Bill Gates
Sidetrack.
has more money than God doesn't mean he needs to be put in charge of how we live our lives.
Yeah. What made him an authority on science and nutrition and vaccines?
Anything outside of computers.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
I think it was the AI
Oh.
god that told him this is what you have to do.
I put my trust in RFK then.
Bill.
That's funny. One thing I know about
Crazy.
RFK is that he was the river keeper in New York for the Hudson River, and he was in Westchester County a lot, and he's insane. Like, he's a Looney Tune, but it works out right now. But he is nuts.
What's a river keeper?
They have a thing, and it's a guy who makes sure the river is clean.
Okay.
Hudson River and stuff in Westchester County.
Isn't the Hudson River known for being like the dirtiest river in the country?
Not all of it. It's a long river.
Oh, okay.
Like up in like
That's funny though.
the
I
Hudson
was
River
gonna say
Valley.
something.
It's clean.
It's a job
It's
you
clean
give
in
somebody to
Westchester.
get
It's
them out
not
of the
clean
way.
down in New
so they
York.
can say they're doing something.
Yeah.
Although
Get
all
outta
that
here.
stuff,
Go
they're
clean
getting
my river,
cleaner.
bitch.
The water, all that water stuff is getting cleaner. I mean, like New York Harbor is getting sharks again because they're coming down from Montauk because the water is cleaner.
Well, that's good.
Well, don't forget all the global warming. That's why they're coming
Mhm.
back down. The global warming.
You don't hear them yell much about that now, as much as they used to. Now that Trump is here.
Right.
They just can't. They're just not doing it.
Yeah. God dang it! This guy has too many. This guy's such a pain in the ass to draw. Fuck.
Yeah,
You need to complain to the guy that created him.
Yeah. Whoever designed that character didn't think it through.
Yeah, I'm fucking dying over here, man.
What am I going to draw? So I always every week. I don't know if you guys do it every week for the what time is it for
The studio.
the studio? There's a new independent creator, and I'm like, what am I? My big thought every week is, what am I going to do with this character? What am I going to do with this character? What am I going to do with this character? Because I just don't want him just standing there, I want him in action, and then I get myself drawing like 3 characters, like an idiot or a Hydra or something, like moron. Like, Chris isn't even using that.
I've started just taking time, like an hour or so before the stream, and start thumbing rough ideas out to figure out what I want to do.
Yep. I spend time looking for poses and I save them, and then I look and see which one I like, and it's a lot. It's 3 hours. It's a lot to figure out, and like I have a stack. I mean, it looks like this. there's a stack of artwork that looks like this that
Mhm.
I don't need.
It's funny you,
know,
say
like,
that,
this is
Marcus.
all from-
What's
and one
his
like
name?
this, a couple of them, like one's been bought and one is spoken for T-Bunnies, and everything else is sitting here. I don't know what to do with all this.
Well,
I don't know what to do
All
with
on
it.
what's his
Bristol
name?
board because you don't want to do a good job, you know.
Peter, aka Pat, he's gonna try to put together a Hump Day book of all his art that he's done on the Hump Day show. And I was telling him, well, we were talking about making one all together, but I mean, everybody could make one individually too. So that's a thing, right?
So this week, it's like every week it's something.
But it would
like,
be cool if we did one together. If you guys are
it
down,
would
I'm
be
down.
cool. Like Chris Fisk isn't even using mine one from Fantail Chronicles is not even bitten. I think he just kind of forgot about it. Like that had the elf fighting the Hydra. I think I got
Yeah.
something to keep myself interested in.
Did
And
you
like, this
DM
week's
it
a
to
tough
him?
week because it's
DM it to him.
this week's a tough week because I've already drawn the Patriarch twice. I'm not drawing him again.
Oh,
Well,
that's
draw
right.
the-
You guys are
draw
doing
the
John
chick.
this week, aren't you?
What?
You're doing John's long box this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do John Long and Hard.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Maybe
love
I'll draw the Mary Sue.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
that's what I said.
I'm like you, Marcus. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these characters? It's not like I can just resell them because most people aren't going to know who some of these people are yet.
Like the ones that we could sell are like the Lady Death, the
Yeah.
Prophet, like that stuff we can sell. I mean,
What-
the Deadpool, we did Deadpool once,
Does
you
he
know?
got too much going on to? I assume that like Don's goal is to grow his audience.
Yeah, growing
Yeah.
the audience is fine.
So he's reaching out to these other creators and like hoping to get some of their audience to
Well,
stick
we
around.
all wanted
Absolutely,
We
absolutely.
all wanted to promote like these different creators, like like even Michael Bancroft. What am I going to do with that? Like I did a nice drawing of her, but I don't know if it really fits. Like I didn't really read that book, so I didn't really know. And to me, that's a personal property. That's hard to draw. I mean, the Lucent, after all,
Right.
have respect for something like that.
Delfino. Oh,
So
that's
I don't know.
Delfino. Dale Fino.
I was told to go on Shay's. Have you guys ever done Shay's auction?
Yeah, I've done it once. I sold one
Shade the
thing.
red.
Yeah.
Delfino.
I met her
Third
last year at
Mikey.
Heroes Con, but I talked to her more this year at Heroes
Third
Con.
place, Mikey. Oh, well, you guys see it. I don't. I turned it off. So if you have
Smokey, they should put him
the
on.
top fans thing on, it's on you, not on me.
Yeah, I turned mine
Yeah.
off
No
too.
money. Like it gets $25.
Because I don't want AI monitoring this stream. They'll monitor you, but they're not monitoring me or the stream.
Right on.
Yeah, that's
the
why you
only
turn it
issue
off,
I
just
have-
in case we have guns and blood and things. We don't get struck.
Only if Glitch uses a gun in Minecraft.
Yeah, in Minecraft.
In real
What
life,
if he just
Glitch
goes
uses
pew
a
pew
gun.
pew?
Yeah, in real life. What'd you
So, I
say,
don't know.
John?
I was like, what if he just goes pew pew pew?
Yeah, it's funny too.
So I guess I'll draw Mary Sue. I started collecting some figures.
What is Mary Sue the wife, or is that another chick?
No, Mary Sue is
She's
a
the side
different-
chick.
She's
I want
like
to draw
a
the
different
wife because she's
character.
all burned up and shit. I'm gonna draw her just like her wicked burned up side,
I don't know.
like her
Mary
boob
Sue's a
all
different
burned and
character.
shit.
Yeah, she's
I
like
read that
Asian.
story. He sent me that story, and it's a good story. It's better than he should have started with the Mary Sue story. I told
Is it
him that.
better? I liked the first Patriarch story. I just didn't think that the second story in his book meshed at all with the.
Well, that's
tone
my
of the
fear,
first
and this is
one.
not a real. It's a little bit. I have a fear that, like, you watch him and he really likes like Vertigo comics and Alan Moore, and I'm afraid that like the 80s is going to the 80s style is going to morph into that real kind of dark look. And that story, I was looking, I had that script, and I'm glad I didn't draw it because I didn't really realize what that was going to be.
Which story? The Public Eye?
The suit. No, the suit I'm still working on. Yeah, I'm not in a rush on it because I have to do other things, and he's got plenty of time. It's not till next year or something. I don't know how he's going to.
And John doesn't even want Marcus to do it anymore. Jeez, what the hell, John?
I don't know if that's true. Completely.
He doesn't want you to do the Public Eye anymore?
No, he does.
Okay.
I'm teasing. I don't know. I'm just teasing.
You never know. You know my theory. Everybody who crowdfunds a comic is a psychopath. Or a sociopath. Take your pick. Except for John. Except for the evil ginger. He's already the evil ginger. But you know what I mean. These people are all nuts. Like, they're all nuts. It's nuts. I don't understand.
You might
all the
be
stuff
onto
that goes
something
on.
there.
They're still talking about the pit omnibus. I'm like, what are you people talking about? That's old.
Oh, didn't Dale just put out
Yeah,
a
I
video
saw that. That
talking
showed
about
up
it?
all over my Twitter feed today, and I'm like, I don't care about this.
No, well, the problem is because Elasmat put out like a groundbreaking documentary of bull crap. It's all bull crap from all sides, so I'm not saying that his bull crap. I met him quick. I didn't know him. But
well,
like, why
Elasmat's just trying to grow his channel, have his fan base.
I don't care about growing the channel. Somebody has to do something morally correct. Life isn't about growing your goddamn YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the documentary. Is like he's just totally bullshitting, or
I'm
is
not
it based on
watching
some
it.
facts, or
I
exaggerating
don't.
things?
I'm not interested in Pitt enough to watch.
No, I agree.
It's like an hour or more, isn't it?
I think it's two.
I think
it's already been EFAB'd.
It was like an hour and a
I'm
half.
sure.
They'll never get back because they went to watch.
Yeah, Donald Delay posted that.
Had nothing to do with Pitt in it.
And it's not about like who I agree with and who I don't agree with. That's not even the point. It's just the whole thing. There's things that are in my timeline that I don't care enough about, and it's not just comics. Like
right.
I know a lot about politics, and I like all the politics, but I don't follow anybody. But it's all over my timeline. Like if I have to read one more thing about somebody complaining about the Epstein list, I don't disagree. We should see it. But I don't need to read about it. I don't need all these influences complaining about it in my timeline.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Almost done. Just need this section. Let's see. There was a comment. Oh, man.
And then if you fight with anybody, you end up like Kevin Ryan. Did you see what happened to him?
Who's Kevin Ryan? Wait,
the Mighty Mouth. He used to post a lot of comic stuff.
The Mighty Mouth?
He calls himself Mouth Almighty. He's in some chats.
Oh,
always good.
He used to be in the chats like that. We're in like that, the same like Aaron and stuff. But he's the guy who decided that Fund My Comic was no good, and he ended up calling Aaron's phone number.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Is he? Aaron's wife was posting like there's some guy.
Well, he's never 100%. He's not stupid. That's one of the things. He's crazy, but he's not stupid. And I'm not sure why she was defending Fund My Comic so much. They don't use it at that time, but he went crazy. Once you start, now he's doing it. Now he's being called a pedophile all over the place because he was said stuff about the Epstein file stuff. Like, why does anybody care? I'm like, don't say that. At this time, that's a very sensitive topic. That thing. It's just a super sensitive topic for good reason. And he's getting roasted because I still follow. Oh, you still follow me? Yeah, whatever, Kevin. So
let's get him on the show. Let's.
I think I muted him after I saw.
I had him muted for a while too.
Aaron, just because.
Yeah, I had him muted. He knows a lot about comics, so that's why I knew kind of had a back and forth with him a couple times because he knows a lot about comics, maybe more than I do. But he's crazy, another psychopath, right?
I think honestly, I think the internet and social media amplifies negative behaviors in people.
I think you're right, except for that's why it's important.
Yeah,
to
well,
come
that's
in
how you
and
keep people on the freaking page. Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Yes,
why it's important to
100%,
come in and talk to
Dale.
Dale A.
That's right.
Because you are the voice of reason.
I don't know
Dale,
about that.
aren't you a computer person? Don't you do computer stuff? Like
I do IT, yeah.
I mean, the algorithm is like all of them are made to try to keep you on their platform. All of them.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, they're just everything. Not only the things that you click on, but most of them can track your mouse movements and like your scroll speed, and we'll see.
Oh yeah, all the metadata.
I know why
sure.
I get all
And
this
like
stuff.
he moved his mouse cursor over this link, and it all gets fed into your profile. And another thing is like a lot of sites like get cookies from Facebook. The site has nothing to do with Facebook, but they're tied
they
into
all
the
share
Facebook
too,
cookies. And so then they tie into your Facebook profile that Zuckerberg has built of you. And Google has one too. And and then they can
and they listen
really
to your
hone
phone
in.
and
They do listen to your phone. I've seen that.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's
have conversations, and then like it shows up in my feed. And it's like I've never searched for that online.
Dude, recently, wasn't there a cybersecurity hack? That like they can turn your camera on, off. It's not a if or a security breach. They can like it's not even a choice anymore. Like if they want, they can have the camera on. They can listen to you. It's and it's probably done more than we know. Like they could be taking snapshots every once in a while and just documenting them all.
Right? They can say, "Oh, nobody's watching you," but it's like it's all just fed into bots, and an algorithm that it's all handled. I mean, there's just too many people for that.
The city of New York
looking at it.
The city of New York is planning on to do what England does and start trying to legislate hate speech online. Now, I don't think that's
get out of here.
No,
it's not.
I don't know. New York seems like it's going to be going into some rough times.
It's already in rough times.
Same thing with California,
which really sucks because when I went to school, I used to walk by to go to school. And I used to walk by the prostitutes were going home, and when I was going 8 o'clock in the morning, got off the subway, and the drug addicts, heroin addicts were walking by, and it was really bad. Like it was bad.
And they were like, "Hey, Marcus, how you doing today?"
It's the end of the 80s. The 70s. Like it was just like it is in the movies, like the 70s movies. You watch like how gritty it is, like it's like Kojak or something. And then Giuliani had just lost Dinkins by like 10 votes. And Dinkins is kind of like the current mayor where he really enjoyed being mayor, like he didn't really legislate anything.
Right.
And then Giuliani came in, he goes, "We're cleaning this all up." And then like I didn't go to the city much after school for like a couple of years. And you'd go back and like Grand Central's like a gleaming, all cleaned up. Michael Jordan has a steakhouse. It looked like when my mom went in the 50s, And now when I was up a couple of years ago, like de Blasio, there was somebody like I went up to 5 years ago. My brother-in-law said it's going to be bad again. This guy's going to destroy it, and it's already destroyed. I mean, it all smells like weed up there. That's all they do.
That's what they're saying about Paris too. Like Paris.
Oh, Paris is bad. I have a cousin lives in Paris. Paris is really bad.
And I can't
This
imagine
guy here
it
is
not
just gonna make
looking
it
like
worse.
it did back in the 90s.
He's not the mayor yet,
Beautiful.
but I'm working on my Deadpool juggernaut.
Hey, now that you could probably sell.
I like drawing Deadpool's fun though. It's a good looking character. I mean, that's a well designed character, right? He
Extreme.
did that on the studio.
Yeah, visually, he's a good looking character.
Yeah, he really is.
Well, the thing is like he wasn't all obnoxious when Liefeld designed him. You know, that was more. What was it, Joe Kelly? Was
that
that
was more like Joe Kelly? Yeah.
Yeah. Who really started?
Who's the guy who drew him after Joe Kelly, or who's the guy who drew him or was writing him when Joe Mad drew him?
I want to say
That was,
Nicieza.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
might be Nicieza, yeah. He doesn't. He's kind of a pill, but he did a good job. He's a good comic writer. Yankee fan.
How do you say his name?
Nicieza.
I can never pronounce it correctly.
He was on John's Long Box, and it was like
Nicieza?
really exciting to have him on, and like early on when and Fabian said, saw John's, and we've talked about this too. He saw John's comic collection, the 140 box, 150 boxes, and he goes, you might have a problem. It was so funny, but it was funny.
Comic writer saying that,
right?
Too.
He goes, "Well, you ever going to crowd? You think you're crowdfunding because he gets hired here and there by Marvel to do some stories, and he writes mystery novels." And he goes, "No, why would I want to do a crowdfund? Why would I want to crowdfund and to only 200 people? What if only 200 people like buy my comic? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" This was before John did a book. He was still planning, and I'm like, "That's like everybody's crowdfund,
Yeah.
It's like,
hey, was it like the time when he had John Romita Jr. on and he kicked all his friends off the stream?
he threw us off. That was funny. He apologized later though.
To save the day.
Did he? Well, that's nice.
Me and Jan Zhao were on. He called us on because John was late. There was a time.
Let me say this to you guys: no amount of apology. If you ever kick me off a stream and John Romita's on it, no amount of apology will ever make up for that bullshit.
And like every time,
and you're not going to be my friend
at
much
Heroes
longer.
Con, and he has a huge line. And like, Billy, he should come hang out. I want to meet him so badly. He goes, his wife is like in a wheelchair after a bad accident. They just go they go to dinner and they go back to the hotel room. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because he's one of Billy's good friends, Tucci. So like, oh, is John Romita coming? John Romita. Yeah, he kicked us right off me and Jan.
If you ever do that to me, you're not my friend anymore. Just so you know.
I didn't know what to think. Me and Jan just started laughing. We started making jokes.
You sound just like Rob Liefeld after he got kicked out of the movie premiere, Omer.
Well, if you ever kick me out of a movie premiere too, that's one of us.
Rob Liefeld like Superman, but you can't say that Superman's a good movie because Rob Liefeld likes it. He has so much agenda. When he likes it, dislikes something, I can't trust him. I'm glad he likes it though.
Yeah, he's on this big anti-Marvel kick now.
Yeah, because they ignored him.
I'm not exactly pro-Marvel.
Because by the way, he's just the comic artist. That's what it was. They don't care about the comic.
Forget
artist.
that he's the creator.
They don't care about that. Hollywood doesn't give a shit.
He just ripped off Spider-Man's costume and inverted it, and that's all. Took the webs off. That's all. He didn't do anything.
Come on,
he didn't give him ninja swords.
Commercial you play. I've been creating these characters since I was 8 years old. Yeah, no kidding.
Everybody is like, yeah, I'm finally this character I created when I was 8 years old, and finally gonna bring him to life.
That's the story of crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finally gonna have Savage Dragon totally make it into.
Look, I made Glitch when I was 2. Oh, that.
Mom, remember when I threw this in the womb?
Sorry, Omer.
What?
It's like, well, maybe you weren't very good creator when you were 8 years old.
Well, Savage Dragon is one of those. All the characters that they did. God bless them.
Yeah, most of the images,
I mean, at one point it's comics, and
Youngblood was basically X-Men, and
Youngblood was originally the Executioners, right? And it was his ripoff of that.
Oh, you should have seen Marvel. when he
And
made
Yeah.
Youngblood,
was X-Men.
my friend was a
Yeah.
Ramita Raider, and when they made
Cyberforce
Youngblood,
was X-Men.
Well, I don't know about Wildcats because Jim Lee has said something about Brandon Choi and him created Wildcats when they were like 12 years old, and it was kind of based on X-Men a little bit, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. They revamped it, but maybe they
my
made it more
friend
like
was a
X-Men.
Ramita Raider or Perlin Plunderer, and
Perlin Plunderer? I've
that's
never
what they
heard
used
of
to be
that.
called because Romita didn't have a whole lot to do with them, and Don Perlin was really running the Ramita Raiders at that time, and he said that when Youngblood came out, they literally made posters of it and made fun of it. Like Marvel thought it was The Office. They just thought it was garbage. They just made fun of Rob the whole time because these were the kids. Not these guys didn't do it, but those were my friend. Those were the guys who corrected all of Rob's work. Like they pretty much redrew the whole New Mutants Annual number 4. It was unpublished
Really?
until it got to their offices. Until those guys worked on it. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true, and I don't mean to say that because of Rob, but that's what I've heard. That's a story from years and years ago. But it ended up being the best thing ever. And
Are you talking about this Rob Liefeld New Mutants issue right here? There's a Rob Liefeld issue in here that's fucking terrible.
And there's stuff he did that's great that I like. It's particularly the newer stuff. I like his work a little better now, and he can design a cover. He's really good at that. And I don't want to say he's really, but he's not. I like to make fun. Like that's part of the gimmick on the studio is me to bitch about image. I don't really care all that much, But that's kind of like the thing.
Issue here where whoever the inker was, he like totally just took it over and made it his. And it's Rob Liefeld layouts. I think there are rough layouts, and that's why like the inker just bulldozed it. But let's see here. Joe Rubinstein, I think issue 95 of New Mutants.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Joe Rubinstein did that. Yeah,
he butchered Rob's pencils, or they were rough layouts and then did his own thing. But because they don't look like Rob Liefeld. I mean, it's some of it's there, but it's really really rough.
Did you ever see his? He didn't always do that. Did you ever see his Hawk and Dove?
Yeah.
That looks good. That's like doing perspective and feet and buildings and all that stuff.
Right. That's when he was trying to get in and trying to be good. Yeah. Okay, so this is it right here. Newman's. Is it 96? Was that 96? Let me double check.
But ultimately, when he says, I made all this money and you guys didn't do it, he's absolutely correct. So, he figured it out. He hit the zeitgeist, and you can't say it's bad work. It is good work in a lot of ways.
Okay, so 96 was Art T-Bear and Joe Rubinstein, and you can see the difference. So this is Art T-Bear here, most likely. This is Rob and Art T-Bear on the cover. And then, so Art T-Bear, and I don't know if you guys can see this. Should I make myself bigger? Let's see here.
I heard it's bad for your
Nobody
eyesight.
cares. Maybe nobody cares.
No,
That's
I think it's interesting.
So Rob Liefeld. So this looks like our T-Bear. Let's see here. Now, okay, this is Joe Rubinstein, and it just doesn't look like Rob anymore. He just all this. I don't know. He's trying to do Rob here. It looks like he's using a brush on everything, and so he's not
Joe
getting all
Rubinstein,
those little. Yeah, he's like all brush.
Well, he's a fine artist, Joe Rubinstein.
And then here we go back to our T-Bear, probably T-Bear. Yeah, our T-Bear.
Did they just kind of alternated?
Yeah, it kind of looks like they did like maybe 2 pages each, or like 3 or 4 pages, 2 pages.
Wait, could it possibly have been a late book?
It could have been, and it could have been based on layouts. some of it. The art pages though look great. You can kind of tell which ones are art because you could tell he's using the nib or the Hunt 102 instead of just a brush and just butchering the lines.
And this is the one that you hate.
Well, no. There's it's issue. I think it's issue 95. Let's see here. It's got to be this one here. Yeah, this one's fucking terrible.
How dare you?
Here, 95. Look at this. So this is based on Rob's work, right? He must have done the layouts because that doesn't look like Rob for shit. And Joe Rubenstein inks. So, but the cover's Liefeld.
I have to see that Rob must have been pissed about that.
Look, so this is, you could tell this is a Rob Liefeld page, but it's Joe Rubenstein inking, right? Oh, and it says co. So he must have had assistants. But
Was it Extinction? Was it Extinction? What was the one? Extinction Agenda.
Yeah,
That
this
was
is part of
very late,
Extinction
and
Agenda.
everybody
Part
was
2.
very rushed.
Yeah, this is part 2, Extinction Agenda.
Yeah, no, everybody was very late and very rushed on that. They were talking about it, how bad like John Bognadov's work was on it, but everybody that was very, very late. So they all worked on those pages.
Yeah, some are better than others.
Not just crowdfunded comics are late.
Bad.
No, it's true. Hush 2, like no issue. The Batman issue didn't come out this month because Jim Lee wasn't finished.
Dark Knight was late.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one by there's by that Frank Miller one. It's still not done. What's it called? The Frank Miller
All-Star Batman.
Yeah, All-Star Batman.
All-Star
Wonder Woman right here.
There was supposed to be an All-Star Wonder Woman.
This is Bogdanova. This issue is terrible. Like, well, it looks cool, but it looks bad too. Like, it's cool but bad. Like, there's some cool stuff that happens, but it just has a weird design flow, and some of the art looks really weird. But it's not like I want to say it's bad only because it doesn't fit with all the rest of the issues. Like, it takes you out of it because it's just so different, the art style. And it's not bad. It just looks different. So different. More blocky, more chunky. Anyways.
They always talk about late books. The first time all the Marvel's books were on time was when Jim Shooter took over.
Oh, man.
They've always ran something late.
Well, I mean, you can be late as long as your book's good. If your book's late and you come out and it's like,
well, back then, when they were coming out monthly, nobody liked
Wildcats
the late books were meant reprints because they couldn't miss the date. If they missed it,
hi down.
You got to pay for that spot, so that's why there used to be reprints in its place. The 70s were filled with reprints. You'd pick up Iron Man and be a reprint because they missed the deadline.
Huh.
I liked the New Mutants movie, K-pop. I don't know if you liked it, but I liked it. It wasn't that bad.
I liked it, but it didn't feel like it had anything to do with the comic book that it was.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. It's like, oh, this isn't a terrible movie, but it has nothing to do with New Mutants.
I do like Rubenstein, but on those particular issues, and if Marcus is right, they were ever rushed. It makes sense. But Extinction Agenda was a good story, so it didn't really matter, right? If it was late,
right.
It was good. It was a good run.
I got Extinction Agenda. I got all those comics. I used to have all those comics.
Oh, it looks Joe Rubenstein's going to be on K-Pop's show. Nice, K-Pop.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
She's a baller.
Not associated with the Friday Night Ballers.
Right, not associated. Wow, K-Pop, you're big time.
Ballers.
No. If you do that, I will not be his friend, K-Pop. K-Pop, I won't be your friend or his friend. I will never speak to you again. Ever. K-Pop's like, yes, I'm going to bring him on, then I'm going to kick him. Let's see. They did the most of Jim's work. Worked on rando spots on every page. Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah. Mikey coming in.
Oh, it's because Diamond made their career
Oh.
out of screwing people over.
What's WW got canceled? What's that? Well, WW?
Wonder Woman,
Wonder Woman?
maybe.
Is it? Yeah, that sounds like what it would be. Wonder Woman. Diamond's going to sink a bunch of companies. Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, Absolute Wonder Woman. See, Diamond more like Diamond. Yes, Dale. Diamond already did several small publishers. Yeah. Because they claimed that bankruptcy, right? So,
Yeah.
it was right, but better than most.
Yeah, everybody's screwed.
Oh shit! Let's see. So many chats in the chat. Let's see. Absolute Wonder Woman was like the 9th best-selling comic last month, according. Wow, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
in the top 10. You know.
Well, they only track like a certain point of sale software for comics, so it's not 100% accurate, but you get a general idea.
Was that book any good?
I don't know. I've never read it. I mean, Wonder Woman's never really appealed much to me. Some people seem to really like it, but all the Absolute books have been selling great. I mean, I posted on Twitter, Absolute Batman was #1 this last
somebody
month.
showed that cover.
Yeah,
Looked really bad though.
That's what I heard.
The one with Bane
Yeah,
on
pull
the
up-
cover was the #1 book, but like
Really?
Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, Hush 2 was number 25, and it's like I think there's a generational shift going on because nobody who's into Jim Lee is under 40, and I think enough people, the Gen X and Zennials, have moved on from buying Marvel and DC that they're not supporting Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb Hush 2 because the original came out 25 years ago.
And nobody knows who they are anymore.
And yeah, nobody knows or they don't care.
That's
I have
because
a
we
question
got tired
about
of
this
being
K-pop.
disappointed or let down or outright ignored.
Right. That's the
by
thing.
big
A lot of
city.
people just got burned for so many years by the
Is
big
there a
two
video for
that-
this that you're talking about, K-pop? Because I do have the artist edition for. Which one is it? The X-Men one. I'll take it out here in a second. See, yeah. But is there a video where he's pointing out each panel and each page? Because I kind of recall that. Let's see. What's up, Jay Ryan? None of these companies should be running so bare and so dependent on Diamond that not getting paid out after a few months would kill them dead. That's a lot of bad management. Yeah, well, that's because everything was being floated to the comic book to the local comic shops, so that's why everybody's getting screwed. Yeah, fix it, Jay Ryan. Fix it. Show up to Diamond with your red marker. Yeah. Undertaker to comics. I bought most of the Undertaker comic books. Really? So you like all the wrestling stuff? Cool. I'm not a big wrestling person at all. Let's see. I'm more interested in season 2 of Kaiju #8. That has Jim Lee done. What has Jim Lee done with? Minosabe Kimasabe live stream, which got added to. Oh, really? Cool. Where Wolves jumped in and did things. Oh yeah, cool. That's awesome. I have to check it out. They had to rotate due to deadlines. Yeah. An image problems.
Yeah, Dynamite is owed like $1 million by Diamond, which is crazy.
Oh, I know. They're gonna go out of business.
Oh yeah, didn't Image finally jump ship from Diamond? They're going with what's it called? I saw somebody posted earlier the name of the
Malibu
distributor. With Lunar, isn't Image moving to Lunar?
They either have to go with Lunar
Yes,
or
I think they are.
Penguin Books. One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like the two
differences.
companies that were vying for Diamond are like suing each other now. The one who won and the one who didn't win, but hired some of the Diamond staff that got fired. So they're like throwing lawsuits at each other. So I'm sure that will help both of them and make the comic industry blossom.
The comic industry. Let's see. RJ Ryan says, no disrespect to Jim Lee, but it's not like he's still out there creating new IP or telling stories, and he's got nothing but time. He's not wanting for money. Yeah, each page is $20,000. See, boom goes the dynamite unless K-pop saves it. Okay. Penguin is notorious for destroying books in shipping and not replacing. Really, I didn't know that. Me did not know that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pull out this Master Edition thing of a bobber.
I love these. I like my brush better.
What pins are those? I'll add them to my Amazon wish list so I don't forget what they are. What are they, Marcus? Those pens?
They're the Zebra Food A signed brush pen, and it's the WFSS4. There's a lot of you. There's a pack of 3 of them, 4 of them. One's a gray one. That's a extra fine, and thicker ones that you could use if you use them. And then that's how I found them. How I found them was there was this guy Scott Savarda. He's a commercial artist, and he's done some animator. And I was watching his channel, and he used to ink all his before he watercolor the brush, and I asked him which one it was. That's like one of his things. He's like tests out artwork, and then I don't watch him anymore. And I asked him which one did I like it, and everybody else is like, "Oh, I like this one," or "I like that one." And then I find that a brush pen, to me, I need to have a real fine one with a control. It has to be like a brush pen, or I might as well just use my dip brush. You know what I'm saying? Which I do use. I use a lot.
I was never good with a dip brush.
I use right now. I'm using a Windsor. I usually use a Raphael 8404, but that has not been behaving. So I'm using my my Windsor Newton. But when I don't feel like taking it out, like this is a good especially in the studio, you don't want to dip it and knock over ink, whatever. You're doing 2 things at once.
All right, I'm gonna.
I try to pay attention to graybeards. What are they using? I
think I have the pins that he's talking about on my Amazon list. I'm looking them up real quick.
I mean, they may not work for you. I like them. I mean, I like my brush. Ultimately, the brush is better, but it's like the same thing. Like Aaron. Oh, the brush, whatever you grab that works. That's what it's coming down to. Lately, so I like these. It's like I don't have no idea how David Williams does such great work inking with Sharpies. He takes that thing and he has this sketch underneath and he light boxes it over and he doesn't.
Yeah, he light boxes everything.
No, I do a sketch and I light box it, but I draw it with a pencil again because I'm not that good at inker. But he just takes thick Sharpies and goes, shh, shh, shh. It looks great. Every time I use a Sharpie, it looks like hell. I don't understand, but he's insane. He's an.
So they're going over this book, K-pop, and going through it panel by panel, and like they'll talk about who worked on what and certain parts on this particular book.
He said,
"This is crazy to see how big the words actually are. Like, is this 11 by 17? I think these are bigger than 11 by 17.
To me, the best
the scans.
I think Aaron, David Williams, and like Dale A actually, Dale Keown are like they're just the best artists like in crowdfunding right now. Like in our,
I'm surprised this character never made it big. Death
I
and
would
Bird.
there's
put
good
Kenneth
artists,
Roca.
and I know I
would
love
put Kenneth
Graham stuff and
Rocafort up
everything,
there as well.
but I really think those guys
Oh,
are really
yeah.
good.
Rocaford's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Bird.
Rocafort's
Rick
good. That's
Bird.
true. I shouldn't leave him out, but I never really got one of his books, so that's why I leave him out.
Rocafort. Let's see. This is an 11 by 17.
I'm not really a member of the Rocaforts.
Wow. Oh, it really is.
I can't
11
get
by
everybody's
17.
book.
Yeah.
And I'm behind on it. Once I'm behind on it, like, you know, I've asked about them and they said it's really, really hard to follow. So
It is hard to follow. Like the story's dense. It's one of the few books I would say like the story's so dense, and normally like anybody else I'd be like, oh, forget this. This is just
right.
But the art is so good.
He is great. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he is great. Yeah, you could put him right in that list. Yeah. I just don't always think of him because I don't get his book. I haven't got his book.
Yeah.
Oh, I put that picture in the Hump Day group chat
What picture?
of the pens that Marcus.
I'll take a look
uses.
at it. I have my phone right here.
Do you want me to bring them up? Share with everybody?
Yeah, don't bother me, man.
You're the best.
Don't bother me, man.
Oh no, these aren't it. These are part of. They're kind of the same, similar pens, though. That white one looks good.
Yeah, it was a smaller size than the one that I'm using now. They're Kuretake Fudagochi, and
Ooh.
and they have the size that I have now. There's a smaller tip, and then they had a gray pen to go with it.
Well, those are good ones. I have to look for those then.
As far as I know, K-pop, they're reformulated now, so they don't turn purple anymore. They actually
There's artist versions. Like the
Yeah,
Unipen has a uni pin, and they have. I got one of their brush markers. It's just a little thick. My whole thing is I hate the microns too, but I use them.
I have
always didn't
microns.
really like
I
them.
just found the tips were like they bent too easily.
I agree, and they also fade when you erase. But then I
Absolutely,
watch
Jay.
Aaron use them. I'm like, okay, I can use it because all the other ones are the same. I mean, the pit pens are a little different, but they're way more expensive. And what I like about the microns is you can get them. You don't have to bid it. You can get them one at a time. You know, you can if they're not locked up. You know, you get open stock. So now I like them better than I used to. But I was talking to Shane about that at Heroes Con about pens. So I asked what pens he was using before he got in a fight with Fraga. I was there for that. By the way.
Richard Friend's not going to be on YouTube anymore? He's
The,
done?
the last stream I saw, he said he wasn't going to be streaming much anymore.
Is he trying to finally finish Blaster Kid?
What?
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. This
Finish
was several months ago. It might have been
ago.
last year. Like
Yeah,
said something
you're
like
right,
he's
K-pop.
too busy or something like that.
They're permanent, but they still fade. They just don't fade to like purple anymore. They just fade. Like they have less acid in them.
Shane is saying with all these pens that he's using this
they're not
type of
attractive.
pit pen, but then another brand will come. They'll keep redoing their pens, so one will top the other one. He's constantly trying different ones, and then
I could see.
and then Fraga hugged me goodbye, and then they got in an argument.
Fraga got an argument with who?
Shane.
Oh, that's when it started.
I was there at the last
Look at
one.
you,
I was
Mark.
right
You're
there
starting
watching the
fights.
whole thing.
Yeah, Jay, you need to get the special pen, the Pen 15.
I was right
Jay.
there
That's
watching the whole
best one,
thing.
the Pen 15.
And I just kept my mouth shut. I just keep my mouth shut about it.
Or is it penis? Dang it, Jay. Kelsey, he was coloring Blaster Kid? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I thought I thought Richard Friend was doing it all.
He streamed with Richard Friend a lot, though, right? Kelsey?
Yeah, they used to
Yeah,
have
he
their
used
Sunday
to.
art show, which was
Yeah, I
amazing.
watched that a couple of times. It
It
was
was
really
good.
good.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
I hope Kelsey's okay. I'm worried about him.
Well, he posted like 6 months ago. It's like he's going to come back, but not yet, or something like that.
I don't understand any of that.
What's up, Art of Roy? See, I bought my pens in bulk. I got Micron 20 packs
Yeah.
for like 15.
I bought 10 of
Nice.
it. I got a box of 10 Art of Roy of these zebra pens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Show it to us again, Marcus. Let me dig it up.
$17.99. Amazon. With the whole box of them.
What's the front of the box look like? So we know what they look like.
Oh, it's just they just put a bunch of pens in a box. I mean,
Oh,
the
I
box
see.
is practically
I gotcha.
open, but
Gotcha.
here they all are.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Michael has good deals on
K-pop
Microns.
is right.
Yeah.
Michael's has a really good deal on them.
Yeah, I'm only allowed to go in art stores with an allowance now because I've got so many different random pen companies in my little art bin over here that I'm not allowed to buy anymore.
I'll tell you one. Don't buy the markers that are sold by Hobby Lobby. I bought a pack of those. They're awful.
Really?
Hobby Lobby?
They really, yeah. The Hobby Lobby's switching everything to their own brand, and it's really bad.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take a little break and use the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. That's all right.
I gotta go to bed.
This is at the point at the night where Omer leaves for 37 minutes.
Yeah,
like
and
10
we're all
minutes.
Like, we want to leave, but
Like,
Omer's not here. He always does it right as me and Marcus are ready to hop off.
because I gotta
Yeah, I'm
work.
getting ready to leave.
hey,
too.
hey, we can always end the show. Or, you know, I don't have to go 5 hours. I mean,
I thought you were known
ready
for
to take
5
off.
hours.
Yeah, no,
That's not what she said.
We've been gone. We've been going 2 hours. 2 hours is good enough.
Yeah, well, after Omer takes some heroin, John, then
go do
he
some
can go
crack.
5 hours.
Let me do some crack. I
You
think
get the dope
Kelsey's
kick.
failure. I think after Kelsey's failure,
He's like, what did
Richard
Marcus
Friend
just say?
have been spooked because he went right back to pinups and inking blue lines for sales. Okay.
Is he not going to do
My
Blaster
typing
Kid now?
sucks.
Did people pay for it? Is this another failure?
No, well, he was working on it. He was trying to finish it.
Oh, okay.
Is Art of
Well,
Roy
it's
like
like-
he can't type tonight?
Yeah.
Art of
Hey, Pop,
Roy,
maybe he had a few beers.
Kelsey has never done scribbles, and I didn't back scribbles because I didn't think Kelsey was gonna. I knew that
I
was gonna
back
be
scribbles, and that doesn't make me happy.
No. I knew that was gonna happen, and he screwed over Gary Martin too. He told Gary to go on Fund My Comic when after Gary spent months on a sign up at Indiegogo.
Oh, really?
Yep. He
Well,
had a
he did
sign up at
okay
Indiegogo.
on
And we all
Fund My-
signed up
didn't
there,
do
and then he
like
went to Fund My
20,000?
Comic, and I think it hurt Gary's sales.
Oh,
I mean, I imagine it did. Gary never. They don't admit to that stuff, but you kind of have to guess, you know. I wish they would admit to it. We'd all learn a little more about about how to crowdfund.
yeah. They keep a lot of stuff close to the vest, unnecessarily, in my opinion. But that's their prerogative.
Yeah, well, I agree.
All right, I think we're gonna call it, folks. I appreciate everybody
right.
being here.
Yeah, thanks
Well,
for
I
having
didn't mean
us
to
on.
kick you off, Omer.
Yeah, now I feel guilty that
I know. All right,
Well,
Omer, I'll stay up till 3 with you. I don't care about
No.
I just have to drive all
It's
day.
11:13 for me. So, I've had a really long, kind of like weird 2 weeks of just feeling dragged.
Art of Roy, right? Art of Roy goes. I told Martin not to do FMC and ask EBS for a start stream. Right. But you know, if you did FMC now, it's different. Back then, they were just starting out. And for an art books don't sell as much as a comic anyway.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a much smaller, more niche.
Yeah,
you'd
I
have to
really
be
wanted
someone
to
like
back
EBS
scribbles.
for an art book to work.
or just find your crowd. Like, there's only going to be a small group like that backs art books. It's unless you're
I would love
Arthur
to back
Adams
an
on
art book.
Kickstarter. Yeah,
I would love to back an art book. I should be the one doing it, but I find them very expensive for what they are. It's not a story, and it's like $35 or $40. I'm like, I don't know.
I'll bring it up, Jay. See what Jay's talking about real quick here.
No, yeah, I saw this somewhere. I must have probably on Twitter.
Here comes the cam scanner. That's how I post all this artwork.
yeah, through his phone.
But did somebody reposted on my stream, like EVS posted like some new frog comic coming out that was being drawn by somebody else, like a Spider-Man artist.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
supposed to come out like every 2 months, and it had a Kelsey cover on it.
No, okay,
Yes.
so EVS. I know this is it's always a dirty word.
Well,
but
did they cancel
EVS
it? Didn't he cancel it? and
Planning
pulled it?
was going to be a bi-monthly Cyber Frog comic.
Heather
that
Swain.
Kelsey was supposed
Wasn't
to
it a
draw.
Heather Swain book?
Yeah, it's like Heather Swain, like
No, this is separate
1993
from
or
Heather
something
Swain.
like that.
Oh, okay. Separate.
This is a book that he planned to do with Kelsey, and Kelsey's gone missing. And he tried to contact Kelsey. He says, if I don't hear from 3 days, I have to replace you. So he got this guy, Ben Herrera, who used to work for Marvel. And he's really fast. Now, he was planning on doing it bi-monthly. And then I think the chat was saying bi-monthly is a little bit, typical EVS is I'm going to do something that I can't do that's a little ambitious. It's got him a lot of trouble. So I think it's going to be more like a quarterly book because it's going to be $20, even if, it's never going to be less than $20. So you got to ask your fans to buy, and then it's a Rippaverse thing. You're asking your fans to buy 4 books a month at $25 each or $17 each or whatever it is.
Right. Well, with shipping, it's probably going to be 30.
35.
Yeah, the shipping's a huge
So
problem.
you got $120 a year for that book, not to mention other campaigns.
Right.
It gets pricey. That's
Right, and the other thing about like EVS is everybody says, "Oh, this one did make $300 million each one." He kind of knows which ones are going to make big money. Like if he gets 100,000 on Fearsome, that's pretty much what he figured. I think. I don't quite everybody. This whole criticism of who does what, that's a failure. In crowdfunding, it's a little bit weird. It's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, there's
I
just a
made a
lot of
book. I'm
factors
lucky
you
I get
don't know.
$2,000.
People might do, a $100,000 campaign, but they don't make any money off of it.
That's a thing. Like I talked to Dennis and Andy, and they were doing the first core draft, and they were at like 65 before, and they're like, we're not in the red yet. We're not making extra money because if you think about how crowdfunder work, let's say you're the writer, and let's say I'm a writer and I hire Dale for $100 a page, pencils and inks. I have to give you that money. Is that money coming out of my pocket or the crowdfunding money? That's proper money to use to produce the comic. So I hire you to do a cover and 5 pages. And then we promote it for the first 30 days or whenever, and then it funds. And when it funds, we start working on the comic. We still promote it.
Right.
And then as it makes the money, then you pay more, then you get paid. Well, all the big guys at a Marvel DC pay themselves. When they say
the ones that are doing it full time, they're full time.
Right. Like see, when Graham put that out there and he said, well, of course we use the crowdfunding money for living expenses. He kind of just didn't explain it right. He's paying himself his page rate so he can buy food and make his mortgage because that's how he does his business. He's his own work for hire. And that's been a big confusion in the crowdfunding space because the little guys can't do that because they don't make enough money. They just barely make the book. Like that would be where I would be, But the bigger guys, it's a whole. It's a
This
different
looks
argument.
great. This cover by Kelsey looks
So
fucking
there's a lot of
awesome. The
misunderstandings.
kids and that upshot. It looks really good.
That's very nice. That's hard to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ankle is tough.
I've tried to do some of those angles, and that's hard to draw.
Well, that's where you just copy this shit and just fucking make it your own.
Well, which book is this?
This is called Kendra.
Who does
I
it?
guess
It's
it's
a
a
nice looking book.
Ben Dunn.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
it
into
looks
like.
familiar.
It does
I
look.
don't
something.
think
I'm
Ben
not
Dunn
super
is
into
like
manga.
didn't he do like High School Ninja or something like
Yeah.
that?
Ben Dunn, yeah.
Warrior Nun.
Ninja High School,
Aerial
that's
Nun,
what it
whatever.
was.
Yeah, I'm
I think
not
it's-
super into the manga style, but that's nice work.
Let's see here. It's where does it say?
Alpha
It's
Nerd.
written by Ben Dunn and Joe Wolf. Art by Ben
Art-
Dunn.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben Dunn's been around a long time. He started with
Yeah.
the black and white explosion in the 80s.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised he's even doing anything because he just made millions of dollars off Warrior Nun Areola on Netflix. I think he's getting.
I don't know if he did.
final
I heard
season.
he sold the rights before that show came out.
I
Oh.
don't know if
Oh,
everybody makes
really?
millions, but it helps.
Yeah, if he optioned it, he might have only got like $20,000 5 years ago or something.
Right. All right, let me stop sharing. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it a night. I'm pretty tired too. It's just been a long 2 weeks,
Yep.
and my schedule's been off like the last 2 weeks. I've been staying up till like 6 in the morning, like all week for the last 2 weeks. It's
Good grief.
the hump day
Yeah.
the hump
Go
day
to bed
show
early,
like staying
man.
up. Yeah, exactly. The hump day show throws my whole week off, so been dealing with this kind of weird night schedule. But it's fine because here in Texas it's hot as hell during the day, so rather be asleep. Not
Well,
a big deal.
You got to make some money. We got to make you some money. You can't be. You need to get a job or something. Now I'm worried about you now.
Nah, I got money. There's money. There's money everywhere.
Omer's rich. He's gonna bankroll
wish.
all our comics, Dale.
Yeah, yeah. If Homer's rich, then yeah,
I hear that.
Publish the comics.
I think we should make
Yeah.
the Omer glitch, and we should all do books for Omer. Me, Dale, and Evil Ginger.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll draw whatever I'm paid to do.
Okay, we're gonna DM and equal out all our page rates too. We're not gonna be fighting. So
Holy
who's got the
smokes.
highest page rate? Probably John. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
probably.
All right,
I'm
guys.
cool
It's
with-
60
I'm
cents
cool
on the
with some
dollar.
page rate, so.
All right, guys. Appreciate everybody. Let's see.
Good
here.
night.
All right.
Omer. It's always a pleasure.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, guys. Later, everybody. We're out of here. Let me get these things played here. Video file. Where art my video file? Play the outro. Thanks everybody for being here. Yeah, it's a short one for today. It's been a long 2 weeks. Thank you, Artur Roy. See you later. Have a good one. Play the outro here. Is it? Come on now. There we go. Let's see. We've got to take that guy off.
Meta. Best meta to date, I believe. Can't feel my mouse. It takes some getting used to. Oh, there it is. Here's my mouse. Okay.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it? Guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? What day is it, Mike? What day? Uh-oh.
It's hump day.
Hump day. Hump day. Huh? Anybody?
It's hump day.
Guess what day it is? I know you can hear me. Hump day. Guess what day it is? What day is it, Mike?
Happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day.
Get happy. Get on with it.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. There are legal methods by which migration can and should occur. But we, as one of our priorities, will discourage illegal migration. And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back. I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. It's got to be great for our country, for our community, for everybody in here, because believe me, we are all suffering, and we're suffering big league, and it's getting worse. A disaster.
But we, as one of our priorities, will discourage illegal migration.
Wrong.
And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their
I
best.
want to be clear
They're not sending you.
to folks in
They're
this
not
region
sending
who are
you.
thinking about making
They're sending
that
people
dangerous
that
trek
have lots of problems.
to the United
And they're
States-Mexico
bringing those
border.
problems with us.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
So strong.
Do not come.
We have made them that way, folks.
Do not come.
Which is wreaking
Do
havoc
not come.
all over the world.
Do not come.
People are scared.
Do not come.
You're gonna see some real good things. I'm going to.
Do not.
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 I'm going to.
Do not. Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. So strong.
there it was, the birth of my dick. The most significant thing to ever happen in our species. Now, that makes for some interesting phenomena. My dick begins to grow. My dick. My big ass dick. The most powerful dick in the world. I've got this big ass dick. This huge dick. The most powerful dick in the world. Here's what happens. My dick begins to grow. The power to stretch. Earth is turning into and out of my dick. My big ass dick. The most powerful dick in the world. I've got this big ass dick. This huge dick. The most powerful dick in the world. To the center of Earth. A stream of atoms. Oops! The wind changed directions. And all of a sudden, you become a victim of my big ass dick. The most powerful dick in the world. I've got this big ass dick. This huge dick. The most powerful dick in the world. You're not supposed to drop your dick. Drop your dick. Drop your dick. Drop your dick. Ever. You're not supposed to drop your dick. Drop your dick.
Jiggling. Is that an emote? Wait. What if I can do it with my Can you see me hit that?